ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
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 गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text number 34. एवं नृपाणां क्षितिभार जन्मनां अक्षौहिणीभिः परिवृत्त तेजसाम् vidhaya vairam swasano yatha napalam
Vidyavayam sarasno yatanam
mitho vadeno parato nirayudah
Nito vidano bhavato nirayudah Evam nitam sisi bhavajanam
evam nipanam kshiti bhara janmanam
Asmini pavitadevam
akshahivinihvi parivratta tejasam
Vidyavayam sarasno yatanam
vidhaya vairam swasano yatha nalam
Nito vidano bhavato nirayudah
mito vadena parato nirayudah evam thus nripanam of the kings or administrators shiti bhara the burden of the earth janmanam born in that way akshahinibihi empowered by a military strength of horses, elephants, chariots and infantry.
Powered by energy, strength of horses, elephants, chariots, and
Parivratta, being puffed up by such surroundings. Tejasam, prowess. Vidhaya, having created. Vairam, hostility. Swasanaha, interaction of the wind and the pipe plants. Yatha, as it is. Analam, fire. Mitha, with one another. Vadena, by killing them. Uparataha, relieved. Nirayudaha, by himself without being a party to such fighting. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Lord was pacified after killing those kings who were burdensome to the earth. They were puffed up with their military strength, their horses, elephants, chariots, infantry, etc. He himself was not a party in the fight. He simply created hostility between the powerful administrators, and they fought amongst themselves. He was like the wind which causes friction between bamboos and so sparks a fire. Please repeat. The Lord was pacified after killing those kings who were burdensome to the earth. They were puffed up with their military strength, their horses, elephants, chariots, infantry, etc. He himself was not a party in the fight. He simply created hostility between the powerful administrators, and they fought amongst themselves. He was like the wind which causes friction between bamboos and so sparks a fire. Purport. As stated above, the living beings are not factual enjoyers of things which are manifested as God's creation. The Lord is a genuine proprietor and enjoyer of everything manifested in His creation. Unfortunately, influenced by the deluding energy, the living being becomes a false enjoyer under the dictation of the modes of nature. Puffed up by such a false sense of becoming God, the deluded living being increases his material strength by so many activities and thus becomes the burden of the earth. So much so that the earth becomes completely uninhabitable by the same. This state of affairs is called dharmasya glani, or misuse of the energy of the human being. When such misuse of human energy is prominent, the saner living beings, being perturbed by the awkward situation created by the vicious administrator, was simply burdens of the earth, and the Lord appears by his internal potency, just to save the saner section of the humanity, and to alleviate the burden due to the earthly administrators in different parts of the world. He does not favor either of the unwanted administrators, but by his potential power, he creates hostility between such unwanted administrators as the air creates fire in the forest by the friction of the bamboos. The fire in the forest takes place automatically by the force of the air, and similarly, the hostility between different groups of politicians takes place by the unseen design of the Lord. The unwanted administrators, puffed up by false power and military strength, thus become engaged in fighting among themselves for ideological conflicts and so exhaust themselves of all power. The history of the world reflects this factual will of the Lord, and it will continue to be enacted until the living beings are attached to the service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, this fact is very vividly described. 1.14, it is said, "The deluding energy is my potency, and thus it is not possible for the dependent living being to supersede the strength of the material modes. But those who take shelter in me can cross over the gigantic ocean of material energy." This means that no one can establish peace and prosperity in the world by fruitive activities or by speculative philosophy or ideology. The only way is to surrender unto the Supreme Lord and thus become free from the illusion of the deluding energy. Unfortunately, persons who are engaged in destructive work are unable to surrender to the personality of Godhead. They are all fools of the first order. They are the lowest of the human species of life. They are robbed of their knowledge, although apparently they seem to be academically educated. They are all of the demoniac mentality, always challenging the supreme power of the Lord. Those who are very materialistic, always hankering after material power and strength, are undoubtedly fools of the first order because they have no information of the living energy, and being ignorant of that supreme spiritual science, they are absorbed in material science, which ends with the end of the material body. They are the lowest of human beings because the human life is especially meant for re-establishing the lost relation with the Lord, and they miss this opportunity by being engaged in material activities. They are robbed of their knowledge because even after prolonged speculation, they cannot reach to the stage of knowing the personality of Godhead, the summum bonum of everything. And all of them are men of demoniac principle, and they suffer the consequences as did such materialistic heroes as Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, and others. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swamin Iti Namine. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Evam Nipanam Shitibhara Janmanam Akshauhinibhi Parivratta Tejasam Vidhaya Vairam Prasanos Yathanalam Mitho Vade No Parato Nirayudaha. The Lord was specified after killing those kings who were burdensome to the earth. They are puffed up with their military strength, their horses, elephants, chariots, infantry, etc. He himself was not a party in the fight. He simply created hostility between the powerful administrators, and they fought among themselves. He was like the wind which causes friction between bamboos and so sparks a fire. So here, Sutta Goswami is explaining that how Krishna, he had come back from Hastinapur, where this, in Kurukshetra, of course, the war took place. So he's come back from there to Dwarka. So now it's little is being spoken about the war, and then Krishna's role in that. He says he finished the entire Kuru dynasty, except the 5 Pandavas. Everybody was dead. 5 Pandavas and then few more. But all the kings on both sides were killed. So somebody may say that why Krishna has to kill. So here is the thing that Krishna knows. He says that in Bhagavad Gita that whenever there is a glani in the dharma is our constitutional situation, essential situation. And where there is a glani, that means we don't understand it anymore. So these kings become the burden on the earth. Kshiti Bhara, they are all burden on the earth, and so their birth is of no use. So the Lord creates a hostility between them. Like he told Arjuna and Yudhishthira and Pandava that you have to fight. You have to fight for your right. If it was left to Yudhishthira, he would have just given up. He would have said, okay, let's go and do something else. But Krishna made it because he had a super plan. It's just not, his blueprint is vast. Because we must understand that Krishna came only when Mother Earth, along with all the Devatas and Devi, they go to him, and then especially Mother Earth is burdened by all these kings because they are doing some horrible things. So she pleads that please help me. And then Krishna says, okay, I will come. So he's not coming for some party, he just comes for a purpose. Of course, he has a big party. But a time comes when the party is over. And Krishna becomes, crosses his teens. That's the time Parshuram, his own incarnation, he comes and hands over the Sudarshan Chakra to him. Krishna didn't have Sudarshan Chakra till that time. He was playing with flute. And then Parshuram comes and tells him, come on, now enough of your fun part. Now do what you're supposed to be doing in this pastime. This is the first thing now. Now come on. Start killing the demons. Of course, before that also Krishna killed so many demons, but he did not use any weapon. You see, all the demons he killed just by his hands. He never used a weapon before that. Then, of course, he got that. So, in other words, his main job of re-establishing religiosity, for that he arranged everything. And but he did not take part. We know that. He was simply a chariot driver. He did not take part. So that's what he did not take part. And then, of course, he is a nice, Bhagavatam always gives this nice similes, we call, that as the air causes friction between the bamboos, and then that catches fire. Because in the sunlight they become dry, and then that fire spreads. United States of America, is all the time some fire is going on somewhere. California, New Mexico, and always. And that's very devastating. It's not the same way. Here even the word Akshauhini is used, in the Kurukshetra war, Mahabharata war. So many Akshauhinis were destroyed. Some number is there, I don't remember, 69 or something. And one Akshani consists of this many horses, this many elephants, this many infantry, and so on. It's a big one, big number. Yesterday I was reading that somebody was asking a question. We say that 690 million people died there. So how can 690 million people be at one place? Because the whole population of India is, double of that. Little less than double of that. So that means, and that's spread all over, thousands of miles. How can a Kurukshetra is a small town? How can everybody be there? So actually, Kurukshetra is not a small town. I mean, at that time, that's okay. That's a different focal point, but so all huge area was covered. So Prabhupada here in his purport talks about the people who are not surrendering to Krishna, who are not recognizing his superiority. And he calls them fool number one. He repeatedly says, in 3 times he says, they are fool number one. And they are not only fool number one, they are demons. And he's comparing the kings of that time to the kings of today, and then saying that all this, and he is even including the materialistic scientists, that who don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. So he says they're all under delusion, the deluding energy of Krishna. And so all they can do is create destruction. And that's what happens even in our life. We see that nobody is permanent. Even if he's a good king, good prime minister, president, somehow or the other there will be some opposition created out of blue sometimes, and then everything is gone. That's the history. That's what Prabhupada says. In history we have seen this. And of course Prabhupada talks about the great demons, Ravana, Hiranyakashipu. So they're all very, very great demons. But now also we have them in our society, The moment we start talking about God, they don't want to even discuss. They say, oh, no. Don't discuss God here. We are all very secular people. And that's what Prabhupada means, by saying that they're all absorbed in their Hollywood, Bollywood type of life. So they think that what is this infusion? Like I was telling yesterday in that one program, I was talking about Narada. And half the people from Indian origin did not know who is Narada. I'm still not able to come over that shock, that how can that be? You've seen so many movies here, there, he's there, everywhere. So they don't take notice of that. That's how, that means their focus is something else totally. So naturally, very few people are interested in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and so on. But we continue doing. We learn every day something new. So I think it's a good thing. Thank you very much. Let us stop here. Any questions, comments?
That question about that really no papers, you asked that question. You're saying that how could it be?
Yeah.
Who asked that?
Somebody in the internet asked somebody, that.
People ask questions like that.
Yeah. And people ask all the time. They have a big problem with Mahabharata, like why Krishna did this, why Krishna did that.
Especially the biggest criticism is why did Krishna dance with the unmarried women?
No. That they enjoy. They don't object to that.
Okay.
No, nobody. They object to Krishna killing this and Krishna killing that, and why Karna was killed like that and like that. They talk like that.
What's wrong with killing?
They say, they're all killed by deceit. So it's okay. They say, in love and war, everything is fair. So that's okay.
Yeah, if there's evil people, you can use any message. Probably says you can be.
But that's what it shows, that they get more attached to the demonic people rather than the Supreme Lord. they're worried more about the people who sided with the wrong side, like.
It's interesting too, you find even like in America, people feel bad for people that are demoniac people, but these same people would think twice about killing those people.
Yeah,
Without affecting the blink of the eye.
I know. There are always some sympathizer for the worst of the people,
Yeah, it's like a lot of ways, trying to sympathize with a lot of people in the Middle East, with a lot of Muslims, a lot of them getting destroyed like anything. They themselves have history of killing all kinds of people.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking twice about it.
I mean, I think Afghanistan, the whole kingdoms were finished, like somebody comes and revolts and he kills everybody in the family and he becomes the king, and then somebody else comes and he finishes him and then he becomes like that, it's nothing to do with the religiosity or something.
Yeah.
It's all personal ambitions.
Exactly. Okay.
That's why Prabhupada says demoniac.
Yeah.
And this is their fool number one. Because they don't know that they cannot enjoy it forever. So.
I was saying when you think on topics talks about when you criticize nowadays academics and things like this before, that it's like even at the university, I see a lot of these kids, they're very smart in a lot of ways, like materially they're like really sharp in a lot of ways. But the most common sense things they can't understand, like they can't understand things like religious sex or like even like meat eating. It's like they can't comprehend it, but yet they know how to do trigonometry and algebra and calculus, but they can't like understand the most simple things.
Did you hear the speech of Citibank chief board meeting? So it's one of the best speeches. Okay, I can go to Facebook and tell that. It's on my page, yes. Okay. So let's stop here. Thank you very much.
So